Hi everyone, this is Yana, and in this video I'm sharing a masculine wood grain watercolor Valentine's Day card using products from the February 2015 card kit from Simon Says Stamp. This kit is all about love and hearts and saying I love you. I thought it would be fun to create a masculine Valentine card and to incorporate a bit of watercolor and a wood grain pattern. My hubby actually inspired me to create this project. I was thinking of him and was trying to figure out what kind of card he would like for Valentine's Day. So this is what I made. Now here are the supplies that I will be using to create this project. First, I have a stamp set. This is from this month kit, and I plan to use this cool heart made out of paper clips. I think it is very trendy and looks kind of masculine too. I will be pairing it with the Stronger Together sentiment, which I think is just perfect for this heart. Next, I have a pierced square die from Simon, and I made sure it was large enough to fit the paperclip heart and also to give it a bit of space on the sides. I also have a gold gelato from Faber-Castell. This is a very rich pigment which can be used for all sorts of things, but I'm going to use it for watercoloring my heart, or actually for outlining my heart. I also have this sheet of paper from Crate Paper Kiss Kiss 6x6 pad, and it was also a part of the kit. This particular design has a nice wood grain print and some really cute hearts. I think it's just perfect for a masculine card. And of course, I have two sheets of rub-ons. These are also from the kit, from the Kiss Kiss collection from Crate Paper. I'm going to use these to add a couple of additional elements to my card design. I mainly want to use one of the circular elements and have it located behind the heart. You'll see what I mean by this later on in my video. So I'm going to begin working on my card by die cutting a square using a pierced square die from Simon. I'm cutting this out of Tim Holtz watercolor paper, and I'm going to use this piece to do heat embossing and resisting. I really like the faux stitched edge that this line of dies gives. It really creates a very nice and finished look to your die cuts. Now I need to prep the surface of my paper for heat embossing. I'm using the anti-static powder pouch and just running that on top of my watercolor paper. This is going to help me keep my heat embossing nice and clean and will prevent the embossing powder particles from sticking to paper where they're not supposed to stick. Next, I'm using Tim Holtz Mini Distress ink pad. This one came in one of the kits last year and it's very nice and handy. It's just regular embossing ink but in a small cube size. So I'm going to thoroughly ink my stamp and then stamp it in the center of my die cut square. Because I'm using textured paper, this Tim Holtz watercolor paper has some texture to it, and I'm using the textured side, I need to make sure to press a bit harder to have a nicely stamped image. Now I can go ahead and add that clear detailed embossing pattern from Simon and heat set it. You probably won't see anything at this point except for a shiny image, but this is what I'm going for. I plan to use this image for a quick emboss resist technique. Now that I have my paperclip heart embossed, I can add color to my die cut square and do a little watercoloring. I'm going to use this gold gelato from Faber-Castell. First, I'm going to add color using the gelato stick directly onto my paper. I'm making sure to add quite a bit. I'm applying about a medium amount of pressure, not too hard and not too light. I want to make sure I have a good amount of pigment on my paper. Now this pigment is only going to stick to the non-embossed areas on my square, and the heat embossed heart will resist it. Now to even out that color and give this piece a watercolored look, I'm going to use a brush from the kit and add a bit of water, and I'm going to spread the pigment onto my paper, creating a painted watercolor look. Now as I'm doing this, you can instantly see the resist in action. That gold pigment is not sticking to the heat embossed heart. I honestly think it looks very cool. Like I said, that gold does have a bit of shimmer, and I'm hoping you were able to see it on the screen. Now with watercolor, if you want to have a less intense color, you add more water. And if you want to have a more intense color, you add more pigment and less water. This is what I'm kind of doing here. I have more water at the bottom and more pigment at the top of my heart. After my watercoloring is done, I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. You can use your heat tool to speed this up, and I am going to use it later, but you need to make sure you're not overheating it so that the embossing powder doesn't melt again. So while this piece is drying, I'm going to work on the rest of my card. I've already created a 4¼ inch square card base out of the dark chocolate cardstock from my kit, and I'm going to use the largest die from that pierced square set from Simon to die cut my wood grain pattern paper and also have that nice faux stitched edge on my die cut piece. After my watercolored piece became dry, I did use my heat tool one more time there to make sure it was completely dry. I'm going to use a paper towel and just wipe any of the remaining pigment from the embossed heart. It is important to do this only after your paper is absolutely dry, or you might do a little damage to your watercolor paper. So no rush there, just wait for it to dry. Now I also heat embossed a Stronger Together sentiment onto a strip of dark chocolate cardstock, and notice it's the same color as my card base. I'm using white embossing powder from Stimpendos for the embossing this time. I'm going to adhere this little sentiment using foam adhesive on top of my watercolored image slightly to the left. Now this month kit also has some very cool rub-ons. I am a fan of this product as of recently, and I think it can really spice up your stamping. Now what I like about these particular rub-ons is that they are done in dark brown rather than black. So they really match the color of my card base very nicely and actually help to bring all of the elements together. I've already selected a main piece that I want to use, and I'm going to apply it directly to the center of my pattern paper. I'm going to do this slowly and carefully, especially when peeling the plastic off. If I see I missed a spot somewhere, I can go back and rub it a bit more and make sure I've transferred the entire design onto my paper. I'm also going to add an additional sentiment, love you, to the bottom of my square. Now that this is done, I can begin putting my card together. I'm going to use scrapbook adhesive foam squares in thin depth and adhere my heat embossed sentiment and also adhere my watercolored square to my pattern paper. As a one final touch, I'm going to add a few more rub-on hearts onto my project. I have 2 hearts next to the heat embossed sentiment and 1 more next to the bottom sentiment there. So here's the final look at my card. I am very happy with how it turned out. I think it's perfect for a guy's Valentine card and quite simple to make too. Now the inside of the card is also decorated with another rub-on, the one that says Happy Valentine's Day. It is brown on brown, but the rub-on sentiment shows nicely. Well, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you're looking for a list of supplies to create this project, you can always find it in the video description and also on my blog. If you'd like to watch more videos using stamps and dies from Simon Says Stamp, please click the link you see on the screen. Thanks! And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I have new videos coming out every week. Thanks and bye!